In a quiet valley surrounded by rolling green hills lived a girl named Sahna. She wasn't strange, only silent. After losing both her parents to a deadly fever as a child, Sahna lived alone in a small wooden hut at the edge of the village. Her home sat beside vast vineyards her parents once tended. Now, she cared for them like family. While others in the village laughed, played, and built families of their own, Sahna spent her days barefoot in the soil, speaking softly to the vines and listening to the breeze. She didn't need people. She had nature and silence. The villagers often whispered about her. She's odd. She talks to plants. She never smiles. But Sahna didn't mind. Silence had become her sanctuary. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, she noticed something moving near the grapevines. Her heart skipped. It was a monkey. But unlike any monkey she'd seen before, this one wasn't wild or mischievous. It sat still, calm, and watched her with deep, almost human eyes. She hesitated, then plucked a grape and gently rolled it toward him. To her surprise, the monkey picked it up politely and ate it, without any fuss or noise. He stayed for a while, simply watching her. The next day, he came again. And the day after that. Eventually, she named him Bolo. He began following her into the vineyard, sitting quietly as she worked. Sometimes, he helped, pushing away birds or playing with fallen leaves. Sahna began talking to him. She told him about her childhood, her dreams of seeing the sea, and her fear of growing old completely alone. Bolo never answered, of course. But she felt like he understood. He listened better than any human ever had. Then came the rain. One night, a heavy storm tore through the valley. Thunder roared. Trees swayed violently. As Sahna rushed home, she saw Bolo sitting outside, soaked and shivering beneath a tree. Without thinking, she opened her door. "Come inside," she whispered. And to her surprise, he did. That night, he curled up beside the fireplace while Sahna dried his fur with an old cloth. She gave him a blanket, some fruit, and space on the rug. For the first time in years, she didn't sleep alone. After that, Bolo never left. He became her shadow, following her, sleeping beside her bed, watching her as she worked and smiled. With him, the world didn't feel so cold. But peace is never permanent. A few months later, Sahna started feeling unwell. She was tired, dizzy. Her appetite disappeared. Her body felt heavy, her belly beginning to swell. Confused and frightened, she visited the village healer. The old woman examined her quietly, then leaned back with a look of concern. "You are with child," she said. Sahna froze. "What? You're pregnant?" "That's impossible," she cried. "I've never been with any man." The healer only sighed and looked away. When Sahna returned home, the whispers had already begun. "She's pregnant. But she lives alone. She must have done something shameful." People pointed fingers, mocked her in the streets, and passed cruel judgment. Their stares pierced her soul. She tried to explain. "No man has ever touched me." But no one believed her. The only one who stayed by her side was Bolo. He never left. Not once. He simply sat beside her, watching with eyes full of quiet loyalty. One night, Sahna sat beneath the stars, her hands on her belly, tears sliding down her cheeks. "I don't understand any of this," she whispered. "I just want it all to stop." Then, a gentle voice echoed through the darkness. "You are stronger than you know, child." She looked up to see a man with silver hair and glowing amber eyes. He wore robes that shimmered like starlight and held a wooden staff carved with ancient symbols. "Who are you?" she asked, trembling. "I am a keeper of truth," he said calmly. "And I've come to set you free." He stepped closer and looked at Bolo. "This creature is not what he seems." Sahna blinked. "What do you mean?" "He is not a monkey," the old man continued. "He is Prince Nael, heir to the kingdom of Duralan. Years ago, he was cursed by a sorceress he rejected. She turned him into this form. Only true, selfless love could break the curse." Sahna stared at Bolo. You're him?" Bolo didn't move. "You didn't need to fall in love," the old man said. "You only needed to care, without expecting anything in return. And that's what you did." He untied a golden thread from his wrist and gently wrapped it around Bolo's neck. Then he began to chant in a soft, ancient tongue. A brilliant light filled the air. Sahna shielded her eyes. When the light faded, Bolo was gone. Standing in his place was a tall young man, his skin warm like bronze, his eyes soft and familiar. "Sahna," he whispered. "It's me. Nael." She stumbled back, breath caught in her throat. "You let me suffer. You let them humiliate me." Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't know who I was at first," Nael said softly. "But you reminded me. With every word, every act of kindness, you brought me back. I didn't know how to tell you. But I never wanted you to be hurt." Sahna looked into his eyes, deep, warm, and full of sorrow. He meant every word. "You stayed," she whispered, "when no one else did." The next morning, Prince Nael appeared before the villagers, dressed in royal robes, holding Sahna's hand. "This woman saved my soul," he said. "She gave me a second life. You laughed at her, judged her. But today, she becomes your queen." The villagers lowered their heads in shame. Some wept. Others bowed. Weeks later, Sahna gave birth to a baby boy. Nael named him Amir the Prince of Light. He had his mother's quiet strength and his father's eyes. Together, the three returned to the kingdom of Duralan, where Sahna was crowned queen. The girl once ridiculed and forgotten became a woman celebrated and cherished. She ruled with grace and wisdom. Her vineyard still bloomed, but now it stretched far across the royal gardens. She had known sorrow. She had known shame. But in the end, love, not from a man, but from the heart, had freed them all. And in that truth, Sahna finally found peace.